All right, everybody, since I've had this bag right here, this is the Rough Enough Tote. It's probably become one of my favorite EDC bags. Now hear me out. This might be one you want to look at, and it might be one of your favorites too. What's going on, everybody? This is Lamar with MF and Research. Since I did the Gear Hunter video months ago, it seems like more and more creators are coming out with tote bags, and it seems like it's gaining a little bit of popularity. Alpaca has the Elements tote, and they've come out with different colors of that. They've even upgraded to a more premium option. You can consider that as well. They've Nutsack, they've got a new tote bag. Air has the City tote. Alpha 19er just the other day sent me an email about, I think they call it their baguette hauler. It's a 17-liter tote. They've got one too. Plus there's a few small manufacturers out there that are making totes, and I'm sure there's others that I may have missed. And now we're gonna dig into the Rough Enough tote. I'm gonna tell you all about it with the specs. I'm gonna tell you what I liked about it and tell you where I think it can improve in the future. So real quick, before we get into the tote bag itself, let's talk about why a tote bag might be a bag you wanna consider. If you want more detail, go into the Gear Hunter video where I go into detail to make my case for a tote. But just real quick, you can carry odd shaped things. It's a cheat code for getting some little exercise in doing the farmer's carry. I can load it in the side cases of my motorcycle pretty easily without paying for premium motorcycle luggage. It's a good secondary bag for travel, and it can fold flat somewhat and fit in my suitcase as a backup bag if I needed to. It's not all sunshine. There are a few cons with the tote bag. The carry can get awkward because it is an asymmetrical carry, usually on one side or the other. It's not a traditional carry method, so you won't have a lot of the back protection and relief from like you would from a backpack. Depending on some of the bags, you might need an additional laptop sleeve since they're not all conducive to carrying a laptop, and it might strain your hand or your shoulder depending on how you're carrying the bag and depending on what you're loading in the bag. So now real quick, I'm gonna go through the specs before we get into it. It's a 500D Cordura camo bag. It's got Duraflex hardware across the bag. It's 20 liters. It's got a clear internal pocket, a front pocket, an inside zipper pocket, and a string for a key attachment. The dimensions are 14.5 by 13 by 6.5 with the top measure opening wider at 20.5. The shoulder strap is a total of 58 inches, and it's got two 9.5-inch carry handles. The carry handles are stitched together at the top for some bunching for extra grip support. It comes in at 1.56 pounds. It's got a zipper closure up top. It's got a bright orange interior, and it came with a whole bunch of little goodies that they didn't talk about, but you'll see them right here. So going back to my Sling Gear Hunter video, I did these categories, and I thought it'd be a good idea to just talk about the bag in terms of those categories as well. So we're gonna stick with that. So as far as material goes, this 500D Cordura is nice and robust. It handles everything you throw at it. You can throw it around. It's gonna take a beating. And I hadn't had any problems with it. I've been throwing it in the back of my car, in the front seat, all kind of different places like that. It's on the floor, outside, it doesn't matter. It's held up pretty well. The interior is high vis. The only thing I will say is it's a little crunchy. And so that noise may bother you just a little bit, but other than that, I have nothing to complain about as far as materials go. So next up, we've got storage and organization. Like I said before, on the front, there's just a small slip pocket that usually I put my phone in if I'm moving in and out of places from my car. On the inside, there's not very much. It's a tote bag. What do you expect? The zipper pocket is pretty large, and then you've got the clear zipper panel on the side. It doesn't have a zipper on that part. It's just a fold over panel that'll keep documents secure. It will fit a laptop, but I don't recommend putting a laptop in there by itself because there's no laptop protection, no false bottom, no padding, anything like that. So if you don't have a sleeve, you're running a risk of damaging your laptop if you're not careful. So keep that in mind. And one other thing I'll mention is the key leash for this guy is pretty long, and there's actually an external loop with the keychain on it. So you've got a couple places if you want to put your keys on the inside or the outside. But overall, as far as storage goes, it's a basic tote. Open on the interior, you can put your stuff in there. Not a whole lot of organization, just basic organization, but you know what you're getting into, and that's pretty common for the style of bag. So price, warranty, returns. This is probably one of the areas where I wasn't very happy with it. They've only got a 7-day return policy if unused, and you're responsible for shipping it to them yourself. And there's no real mention on the website about a warranty. I couldn't find anything like that. But if you do purchase it from Amazon, usual Amazon return rules apply. I'm sure we're all familiar with those, so keep that in mind. That's where I got mine from, so keep that in mind. So as far as size and dimension goes, it's kind of wide, somewhat narrow. It fit in between the back seat and my son's seat pretty good, no problems. It fits between my feet and the passenger seat of a car, no problem. I didn't really have any issues with the dimensions. It was able to hold a lot of stuff. It expands a little bit, not stretchy, but just the nature of the bag. The mouth opens up so you can fit a lot of good stuff in there. As far as exterior utility goes, it's just a basic bag on the outside, a couple loops and a slip pocket. So that's really all that's there. Aesthetics and style. So it's a tote bag. It might not agree with everybody's style, but because it's the camo, I kind of liked it. So like I said, it's grown on me a lot since I bought it, and it is one of my favorite bags. So if it's something you're interested in, check that out. I will mention on their website, they have a canvas that's kind of a white color, and the bottom of it is that camo, the same print as this one. This one, the camo that I found, I can only find it on Amazon. I can't find it on the Rough Enough site. So that's something to keep in mind while you're looking for it. Before we get into the things that I liked, let's talk about some of the areas where I think the bag needs to be improved. So on that main opening, as it contorts to the different things you put in it, the zipper can get a little tricky. A nice little pull tab on one of the ends just to pull it tight to zip the bag up would have been appreciated. Not a deal breaker, but something that could be improved on the next iteration if there is one. It's something common with 500D Cordura. It picks up all the lint, dog hair, cat hair, all that good stuff. All that's gonna pick up, but luckily it does brush right off. You don't need a cloth or anything, just brush it off with your hand. It usually is pretty clean. So that's something to keep in mind. If you like it to be lint free all the time, that's something you have to take in consideration. But given that it's 500D, it's pretty sturdy, you're not gonna have to baby it. One thing, since it's a tote, I don't always load it so it can be closed up at the top. When I had the towel sticking out the top, you couldn't close it. A nice strap, maybe magnetic, or a button on the top that kind of goes from one side to the other, that would have been appreciated, or some sort of magnet or something like that. I think the air tote closes with the magnet, or it might be alpaca, I can't remember which one. But something like that would be beneficial, just a strap that maybe can tuck in on one of the pockets or something like that, and it just clasps on. You can keep that in there and it should be all right. It could even come in a little pouch of goodies, something you could add on as an accessory. Two more things that I'd add to the exterior, just like the Nightcore tote, I'd like maybe a row or two of webbing. You can clip stuff to the outside for quick access. That would have been nice. You could even clip like a water bottle pocket or something like that. It'd give you a little more options on quick access stuff. Usually going in and out the bag is pretty quick, just sling it around, zip it. It's kind of like a big sling, really. So it's not horrible, but it'd be nice to see it. We all like to rock our morale patches, our REs and stuff like that. It'd be nice if there was a strip of hook and loop on the back or on the side or anywhere on there, just to add some of those patches on the bag, on the exterior. That would have been nice. Not a necessary thing, but a nice to have. I think I'm gonna run an experiment to see if I can fix that problem myself. Stay tuned in the shorts. If there's a short that comes out, it should have my success or failure with that. So keep an eye out. So now it's loaded up fresh from church. I didn't unload anything out of the bag, so I'm gonna show you one of the many ways that I use this bag. And this is the primary way that I carry it, just after church, to hold all the snacks and goodies for my kids while we're at church. So I'll show you that. All right, here is the Rough Enough tote loaded out, just like I brought it from church. So let's start with the outside and work our way inside. I have the cob light. I usually keep that on there in case I need to light under something. And also I can drop it in the bottom of the bag and light the bag up if I need it. It's not as required for this, but if the bag were all black, you could do that. Little keychain that came with it. I just keep it there, no reason. In here, I've just got a Hank. That's it, nothing else in there right now. Usually I put my phone in here, but I switch between the two depending on what's going on. So now, let's show the back. Nothing on the back but this hook right here. Sometimes I have a hero clip or something, or another carabiner clip there, but right now I don't have anything clipped on it. So now let's get inside. So now this is what it looks like when you open it up. I've got my son's tablet connected to a USB battery. And I'm gonna go through this pretty quick because it's just stuff that you've probably seen before and stuff for the kid. The extended EDC pouch, my HUD pouch, and if you notice, I take my pouches and kind of add them on to each other. Snacks, there's gonna be snacks all over the bag. A random giraffe duck. Changing clothes for my son. As he's playing, he likes to get dirty. And if he finds a puddle of water that he likes, he's jumped in it on a couple times. some headphones. More just wipes and stuff in here. I usually put those in here, but I guess I forgot to do that. So that's usually where they stay. And then in here, I usually keep some paper towels or some napkins and some other wipes. Just whatever I need to keep stuff clean. If there's a spill, I usually keep that in there. A couple more toys at the bottom. And then in here, just some more stuff. This guy we'll talk about later. I've just had this for a little while, but we'll talk about that later. A little mini bottle of water. It's empty now because I'm using it for something else, but I threw the Viperade pouch in here to try some stuff with it, but I had that in here too. Check that video out. Becomes a trash bag, more snacks, more trash. You know, I'm gonna clean this out probably as soon as this video is over, but that's usually what happens when you got kids stuff. They eat the candy, they eat the snacks, and then they hand you the trash when there's no trash can. So that's what's in here. And if you notice, there's plenty of space in here. There was space for even more stuff, but that's usually how I load it out. Other than that, I use it as like a beach bag for towels and stuff, and that's what it looks like. So overall, it's a pretty cool bag. Like I said, it's growing on me. It's a bag a year ago I would have never considered, but trying different things and seeing what's out there, looking at different solutions to carry options, I'm really digging the bag. It's really working out well. It's a lot better than I anticipated. There's a few small little things. Primarily that laptop sleeve issue is one that I really worry about. But again, I'm not using this in the place of a backpack. So what I'm doing is usually not gonna require me to have a backpack. But even if you have a tablet, that's something to keep in mind also. If you remember my son's tablet, it's in a protective case. One, for him if he drops it, and two, if it's in there, I don't have to be as careful. So that's one thing to keep in mind. A lot of the internal storage in there is just open, and some people like that, some people don't. I could go either way. It gives me the opportunity to load the bag and put my pouches and things like that as I see fit. So what do you think of the tote bag? Do you have a tote bag? If you do, let me know which one you have. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for those that have subscribed so far. This is Lamar. This is MF and Research. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm out.